Hey guys, so we actually do have the LF Super VEGITO'S ZENKAI sort of preview here on Twitter. Interestingly, because I thought Broly and Chilai were going to probably be the next ones to get their Zenkais, but it looks like it's going to be him. I mean, they announced both at the same time. Maybe they're both going to be getting one tomorrow, but they showed Vegito first, so we know for sure that he's coming tomorrow, right? I mean, 99%. They never really show a preview on Twitter for a character or a Zenkai that does not come the next day, so... I would get your stuff in order, get your resources farmed up here. We have like an hour left of Legends Weekend, right? So just get all your stuff done so that you're ready to Zenkai Awaken this Vegito. Remember, they said that they're going to be able to, or that you're going to be able to get some Z power for him from an event, and then obviously you'll be able to do the Battle Gauntlet as well to get his Awakening Z power. I'm also going to tell you guys right now that I definitely anticipate this Vegito to be like bonkers, by the way. This is, bar none, the most anticipated Zenkai Awakening in the history of Legends, and it's like not even close. Like, no character comes even remotely close to how hyped this Zenkai is. I've seen people on the Japanese Twitter, especially for Legends, posting underneath the official account, like literally every single post, there's like 50 replies, all asking for Super Vegito Zenkai for like a year. So there's a 0% chance they make this guy mid, right? I mean, we've had a bunch of, not spectacular Zenkai Awakenings recently, like some that come to mind are like Green Kaba. We've had like Transforming Blue Kaioken Goku. I wouldn't really say either of those two are like really spectacular. And that kind of level of Zenkai Awakening, I definitely don't expect this Vegito to be at that level. The most recent Zenkai we've gotten besides that is, or besides him, has been the purple Merge Zamasu. I completely expect this Vegito to be better than the purple Merge Zamasu. So let's just quickly see what they say about this character. So, unlock all uniques to get card draw speed up, recover key, and draw a card if you have 3 or less when entering the battle. So automatically he's busted, right? I mean, this is basically purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku with card draw speed, right? I mean, that's basically what it's saying. His attack and defense are boosted with Zenkai 2, making him easier to use than ever. So the main issue that I've had with this Vegito, I guess, obviously he's outdated at this point. He's 2.5 years old. But the main issue that I have with him is a lot of his damage and buffs come from him either taking damage or the enemy using cards, or him drawing certain types of cards, right? So it's really hard to bring this guy into the battlefield. Like, let's say you start a combo with a different character, and then you switch into Super Vegito, and then you're continuing the combo with Vegito. His damage is bad, right? Just straight up, his damage is actually like bad, because again, he's not really getting much from just entering the battlefield, and he's not a character you want to just like extend a combo with that much. That's a combo that was started from a different character, because he gains a lot of his damage by ramping up his unique abilities, which we'll take a look at here, actually. Let me just quickly pull this up here. So here we are, 14 stars. I mean, not a lot of people have him at 14 stars. By the way, something else to note about this character, before we even jump into his kit at all, do you guys think his Z ability at 14 stars is good? I mean, again, not a lot of people have him at 14. Oh, this is not it. Not a lot of people have him at 14 stars, but if you do, and if they do make him as busted as I expect them to do, I mean, is there a reason not to just run this guy on every single team? He's giving 30% strike attack and defense and 12% HP to the entire team in the leader slot. Like, why would you not just run him at all times as the leader? But yeah, stats are pretty okay. I mean, they're not like crazy, right? 241,000 strike attack. I mean, that's going to go way up. So are the defenses. I mean, he's very heavily strike based. His blast damage is not that high. Main ability is also something noteworthy as well. I remember when this guy first dropped, I was like doing like a triple, quadruple take when I saw this. I was like, okay, did they make this good enough? So yeah, he draws the Ultimate Arts card, Spirit Sword next, restores own health by 30% and ki by 50. That's really good. 30% damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. Then he gets card draw speed by 1 level for 10 counts, and then he cancels enemy attribute upgrades. That's actually like a modern day main ability, and it's 2.5 years old. So they really went all out with this. Now I mean, first of all, I would just be very shocked if they were going to change this in any way. I think the most likely scenario is they just leave this as is, because it doesn't really need to be changed at all. But there's one of two things I could see them doing. Number one is I could see them maybe bumping up this 10 timer count to something a little bit longer, because 10 is not that long. But I don't really think that they're going to do that because of the fact that they already said they're giving him card draw speed from his unique ability. So this is basically giving him level 2 card draw speed for 10 counts. So I don't... knowing that, I kind of hope they don't make this longer. Like 10 counts is good enough for double card draw speed. I'm okay with that. But the other thing they could do, and honestly, if this was like me designing this ZENKAI Awakening, I would probably do this, where I would probably add a little bit of an extra clause to this last part where it says cancels enemy attribute upgrades and buff effects. Because right now it's eliminating buff effects and only doing attribute upgrades. Just honestly, just cancel all of it. Like it's really not that big of a deal. Just it makes it cleaner, makes it easier to use and understand for a lot of players. So yeah, this is already a very, very powerful main ability here. First unique ability is the Potara Fusion. So he gets 40% of damage inflicted for 20 timer counts when this character enters the battlefield. So that's really the only buff he's getting when he enters the battlefield. Now, the one thing I'd want them to change about this is make this a non-cancelable buff, right? So the enemy can't just, use like an ability to cancel this, a main ability, a green card, or whatever. And then the next thing I want them to do is make this a permanent buff, not just limited to 20 counts, because this is a character, again, that you want to draw a lot of cards with to gain your abilities, that you want your opponent to use cards to get stronger. So this is a character you want to leave on the battlefield for an extended period of time to make the most out of his unique abilities here. So, I mean, there's a world where you leave him on the battlefield for longer than 20 timer counts. So I would want them to get rid of this and then make this a non-cancelable buff. And at that point, I think this is a fine unique ability. So while this character is on the battlefield, the following effects occur when an arts card is drawn. So depending on what he's drawing, he's basically getting a buff. Actually very similar to Yellow Majub. But he gains 20% strike damage for drawing a strike. Same thing for blast, but it's blast damage. Green card, he's getting 20% to key recovery, and then a blue card, he's getting 20% to special move damage for 15 timer counts. Now, the 15 timer count restriction is also interesting to note as well. I actually wouldn't be opposed if they bump this up to like 20 timer counts, especially if they leave this at 20 counts. Like, there's no reason why this should be a lower number than this. So I feel like they should just, if they're gonna leave this 20 timer counts here, make this 22. 15 is, most times you're not really gonna have these buffs wear out, right? Because 15 timer counts is actually more than you think, but just for the aesthetic of it, I don't like this. And then the second unique ability is going to be this is an attack. So he gets 30% to strike damage inflicted against tag regeneration, cannot be cancelled. And then he has a knockback effect against strike cards, and you can combo that with a blue card. So the regeneration thing, I mean, there's some pretty powerful regeneration characters in the meta right now. I think the most annoying one by far is probably the ZENKAI Purple Merge Zamasu, so he'll be able to do extra damage versus him. He'll be able to do extra damage versus green ZENKAI Fatbu. He'll be able to do extra damage against red Corrupted Zamasu. So, a decent amount of regeneration characters running around right now, but they're really not the threat, I would say. I would say Future is definitely the team that you really want to look out for, and also movies. So we'll see how much that plays into him doing damage. But then this is also a big part of what he's able to do, right? He gets 10% of damage inflicted for 15 timer counts when an enemy uses an arts card while this character's on the battlefield. So again, a lot of his damage is coming from this, but yeah, it's hard to get a lot of these stacked up, because if you're getting like 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks of this off, you're getting beat up. Like, the enemy's just pummeling you, right? If that's what that means. So we'll see. We'll see how they handle his unique abilities, but based off of what they're saying here, he sounds like he's going to be extremely powerful. The blue card is the Big Bang attack, deals massive impact damage, and then restores ki by 30 upon activation. Something to note about this is that it is a long animation, so you can't really just throw this out willy-nilly. Kind of like Vegito Blue's blue card as well, the blue one. I guess the only thing I'd really want to see out of this is maybe you make this, like, 20% damage on activation or something, and that's fine, because getting the key actually is already pretty nice, so I wouldn't be opposed to them adding like a little bit of extra damage to this. The green card is reduces damage received by 20% for 15 counts, cannot be stacked. Then he gets 30% to key recovery, and then he nullifies own attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions for 25 timer counts. I guess the only thing I'd want to see out of this is maybe like a not like a massive heal, but like some like maybe like 10% health. If he gained 10% HP on this green card, it would actually be really, really impactful because, again, it's a character that you want to leave out on the battlefield for a long period of time, and him getting access to some kind of healing would allow him to, you know, stay on the battlefield for a long period of time, right? So I think that would benefit him a lot. Then his ultimate is the Spirit Sword, deals massive slice damage, applies the following effects to self upon activation, 40% ultimate damage inflicted for 3 counts, and then he nullifies enemies' endurance effects, and then he has blast armor. So the one thing I would actually really want them to do, but I don't think they're going to, because I think number one, they would have put it in here, and then number two, they would have to completely rework how the ultimate works, right? They'd have to remove this, is I would actually want him to gain a unique ability where he just nullifies endurance just in his base unique ability, like not even needing to use the ultimate, right? There's so many endurance characters running around right now. Future Gohan, Oob, you have the new sword from Trunks, that this Vegito actually, if you gave him some kind of like endurance nullification in his unique ability that had like no hard restriction on it, like he would change the entire meta, right? I think he probably will change the meta anyway because they're probably going to make him that good, but that effect that they could have given him for the endurance stuff, I feel like that's that would have made things even more scary. So there we go on Vegito. Obviously the two teams you really want to run him on are Fusion Warriors. Actually, this is really the only team I would say you probably want to run him on is Fusion Warriors. Him, I mean, the two aces of this team are going to be him and then Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Obviously, you still have Blue Gogeta, who's pretty solid, pretty good still. Vegito Blue still good, obviously. Red Gogeta Zenkai still annoying. So they have some tools here. Maju is really good. Yeah, we'll see how good they make him. I definitely, by the way, expect in Part 2 we'll be getting at least one Fusion Warrior. There's no way they do the biggest celebration of the year and not release a Fusion Warrior. It's a Dragon Ball game. They have to do it every time. And then the other team I actually feel like could be a sleeper. I mean, we can quickly talk about the Super Saiyan team, right? I mean, I really hate this team a lot, but, you know, Bardock is inevitably going to make this Vegito insane. That's just how it always works with Super Saiyan characters. But the sleeper team I actually feel like could be the Majin Buu Saga team. Now, obviously, this is not a team that you can even use right now. It doesn't exist. But if you guys have realized, they've secretly been buffing these Saga teams ever since they released that, you know, 6 Goku event where you get these Gokus here. They've done a Frieza Saga celebration with the LF Full Power Frieza. They've done a Saiyan Saga celebration with the Grade 8 Vegeta. They've done a Cell Saga celebration with the LF Cell. So guess what? They're following the 6 Gokus, right, that they've given out. So let me actually scroll down to the event exclusives. So we've had this guy covered, right? We've had, where's the Super Saiyan 2 Goku? We've had this guy covered for... No, we actually haven't had this guy here. We've only had the base form and the Super Saiyan one covered. Yeah, because this is Saiyan Saga. This is Namek Saga. Actually, there is no Cell Saga Goku. Yeah, I forgot about that. But I think, you know, Majin Buu Saga. I mean, if they're gonna Zenkai Awaken this Vegito, I feel like they could just focus on Majin Buu Saga stuff, and you know, maybe eventually they'll push out a bunch of other, you know, new Buu. We haven't gotten a Buu character in a long time, like a new Buu. So eventually, I mean, you know, when this Super Vegeta gets a Zenkai tomorrow, it's not like you're going to be able to run him on this Majin Buu team, but I think eventually they're going to build this up into something. And then eventually we have Battle of Gods, and then Resurrection F as well. So I think they actually will probably do stuff for those. Like, we're probably going to get a new Beerus at some point, probably going to get a new Golden Frieza at some point. So that's a sleeper team to look out for. Not going to be viable for a while, but eventually I think it actually will be a team. So Fusion Warriors is going to be his main team. This is all we know for him right now. Again, tomorrow night we will have all the information for him. I'll do a breakdown video, I'll do a showcase. And that's going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you all in the next one.